Supanova in Sydney, you never know who you're going to run into. Turns out Michelle Gomez is here, Doctor Who, Sabrina, so much more. Chatting to her right after this.
This is a Trekzone conversation.
Michelle, thanks for a little bit of your time. It's been a long line of fans here at Supanova in Sydney.
There have been, three turned up. 1,000.
I know, they're just everywhere. You're more popular than Alyssa Milano.
Am I? Oh, okay.
I think so.
Okay, thank you. I'll take it.
Now, while waiting for you, watching these fans come through, we do our intense research online, aka Wikipedia, because I like to see. I've had a couple of times with some guests where I'll use it as a resource, not as my only resource. My mum's an English teacher. I better not say that I use Wikipedia, but I look at it and I'll come up with a couple of questions, and then it turns out that that's not actually correct at all. It happened with John Noble, where I said, "Oh, so you're part of a charity organisation? This is really great," and he goes, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
Oh, Lord.
So.
Okay.
I mentioned his name. I probably shouldn't have mentioned his name, but that's okay. So there's an interesting story about you.
Oh, yeah.
At age 7, you were at you watched Kiss Me, and I'm blanking on the name of it,
Kate.
but Kiss Me, Kate. Thank you for the lube. And that prompted your love affair with acting. How did I do?
Yeah, pretty
How
good.
did Wikipedia do?
Actually, pretty good. I was in Glasgow and I was at the Theatre Royal, I think it was, and there was a production of Kiss Me, Kate. And I think it was like my first kind of big grown-up show to go and see. And I, God love me, thought that they were talking to me. And I was completely captivated. And also I was up in the nosebleeds section as well, because we couldn't afford the posh seats. So I was like, it was kind of like became a dream of mine to get from way up there down onto those boards. And I did eventually.
And in front of those lights as well.
And in front of them too, yeah. That's been a late entry to my career, yeah.
Now, hailing from the United Kingdom, of course, Glasgow, but the UK as a whole, I wonder whether I'd love to know whether the rite of passage for actors over there is the same as Australia, where you have to go to home and away or neighbours here. Is the Bill kind of that place where you guest starred twice?
Oh my God, the Bill, yeah. The Bill was probably the first time I was on camera, and I was so nervous, and I played a character. She was a traffic warden called Penny Grice, and the director said, just, take a ticket from your machine there and just stick it on the front of the car, do a banana around the car and stick it on the windscreen. And I was so nervous, and I didn't want to ask what that really meant. So when he called action, I started to pretend that I was slipping on a banana, and the crew found that very funny. And I actually landed on my bottom, I think we can say, and bounced up and said, I'm fine. And obviously the director was like, that's not what we meant. So, so I learned the hard way.
Now, you are here in Sydney. Supanova brought you to Australia mainly for your role as Missy in Doctor Who. A huge role, but not one of the biggest for you. There's also Sabrina as well. I guess, who have fans been here to see?
It has been a mix from some of the things that I've been doing. Doctor Who probably gets the edge. Missy was really, the fans respond very, very warmly to her. But also a lot of Sabrina. There's a lot of Madame Satan in there as well, and a little bit of Madame Rouge, because I only seem to play characters that are called Madam something or other. But yeah, probably Missy would get the most popular vote.
And for Missy, first time for a gender change for the Master. How did you prepare for that?
Well, I just have a vagina. Can I say that?
Well, sure. Can we expand on that a little?
We could expand
Please.
on that, but I think that's a little rude.
No, not the vagina, the preparing for the role.
Okay, preparing for the role. Well, it was just like he was a man before, and then he was a woman, and I was the first woman, the first female to play. I'm so sorry. It's never, you get like a real actress, like a proper actress. It's a bit more professional. I prepared for the role by learning my lines and putting my costume on and then going for lunch.
Did you look back at parts?
See, by the way, I've got my glasses off and he's got his glasses up. He's so blurry right now. He's probably very handsome.
You did very well there with the depth perception.
Did I?
Yeah. By preparing, I mean looking back at Master's past appearances on Who. Was there any sort of deep dives into the VHS tapes at all?
Not really, because I realised that if I did that, I might get a little intimidated by the genius that had gone before, like Delgado and others. And I really wanted it to be something that I'm basically just lazy and quite ignorant, so I just sort of learned the lines that were in front of me. And Stephen Moffat did right to my strengths, so I had a real ally there. So joking aside, I am first and foremost a Doctor Who fan, so I really had to work hard not to get too overwhelmed by the role that I was taking on, and the fact that, yes, I'm sorry, it was a man that was now going to be a woman, and maybe the fans wouldn't accept that, but I really couldn't afford to think about that too closely. It would have gotten in the way of me dicking about.
Absolutely, and such a powerhouse team in those episodes. Peter Capaldi, Jenna Coleman as well. You talk about feeling intimidated. Peter Capaldi himself.
Well, Peter Capaldi is just a few years older than me and was cutting about Glasgow when I was a girl growing up, and he was like the David Bowie of Paisley. Like he went to a Glasgow art school and he played the guitar, and he always looked amazing, and then I got to snog him in Doctor Who.
So take that.
So take that, Elaine.
Who's Elaine?
His wife.
I would know this if I was better prepared, but anyway.
Wikipedia!
Exactly, I'm sure Wikipedia is there.
Quick to Google.
Yeah.
Give it a Google.
Exactly right. Michelle, absolutely love chatting with you. It's a thrill, and there's more fans. There's more fans here.
There are. Yeah.
We better get out of the way because we're getting looked at by Supanova.
Bugger off.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Cut.